28 days of sleeping in the cold, 2,000 feet up at the top of Mount Holly later, Uncle. But finally, made it. And there is no possible way that behind this final door my uncle would screw me this much, so just with a 1, 2, Uncle, no! God damn it! No!
When the Blueprints released, people jumped to calling it genre-defining, the best game of 2025, which actually is true according to Metacritic, at least for now, or just their top game of the year. And so I had to check it out for myself, and after playing it, I can confidently say, yes, they're right. The Blueprints is massively addicting, incredibly well crafted, and one of the best games that respects your time as a player, makes you think, and doesn't hold your hand in the same way that a lot of modern AAA titles do. So, if you're tired from the trivial and mundane puzzle that a lot of AAA games have been presenting you with, check out the Blueprints. It might have exactly what you're looking for. The Blueprints is a brand new debut indie title coming from a studio called dogubomb. Their indie title blends rogue light and tabletop elements behind an intricate puzzle that encourages you, honestly really requires you to take notes in order to solve the mystery of this location, of the manor at Mount Holly. Blueprints operates a lot like the board game Betrayal on the House of the Hill, mixed with old school King's Quest, and if you mash those two together, what you get is a damn fine game. Everything here feels intentional and well crafted. The pacing is one of the most immaculate things that keeps you drawing back into the house, which players after your first couple runs might not understand, but as you keep going back in and back in and back in again, you start to realize why this simplistic gameplay has a lot more than meets the eye. You'll find yourself walking through doorways unsure of what's on the other side until you make the choice to open it, and behind every door, you have to pick one of 3 different room types that get added onto the house along this grid. Once you pick it up, that room is permanently there for the day, and you keep adding on rooms to get to the north side, building a labyrinth of your own design. It doesn't need to make sense why the boiler room is right next to the bedroom. It just has to help you get to the mysterious 46th room in the house that's located next to the antechamber all the way on the north side. All the while, you're going to be managing 4 different types of resources. You have steps, which dictate how many rooms you can pass through in a given day, because unfortunately you play as the only kid in existence that's promised a wealth of inheritance, but gets tired after walking through a house for a couple hours.
Finally, a good run! Got the hammer, special glasses, plenty of keys, and ho-ho! There we go, baby! The camera that I needed for the last tour. I'm tired.
You have coins, which you can use to buy items at specific shops. You have gems, which are used to place more valuable rooms, and keys, which are needed to open locked doors. And all the while, you'll find different types of use items, like a metal detector, which helps you find more gold and keys, or a shovel that helps you get through dig spots, hammer to break open padlocks, so on and so forth. If you get too tired to explore, or you build yourself into a corner where you can't progress anymore, that ends the day. The house resets, other than a couple things. You might find ways to freeze your gold and keys and gems so that those carry over, or you might find certain rooms that give you upgrades for the next day. In this way, Blueprints is a roguelite, not a roguelike. I think I'm using those 2 terms correctly. There is a story here, and there is a world that's rich with nearby towns and family history that you can learn about if you want to, but for the most part, I think a lot of players will be content finding out the mystery of the manor at Mount Holly is going to be more than enough. But what keeps you coming back, the addicting part of this experience, is that it respects both your intelligence as a player and your time. Every single run that you go on, even if it's not the best one that you've had, you're probably finding new information, or you're looking at rooms from different angles, or you discover outright a different room entirely, given there's so many to choose from with different levels of rarity. These giving you hints to progress in different areas of the house. So you can start really piecing together all of these different interconnected elements. I have 4 pages worth of notes. Some of them might be red herrings. Some of them might be much more important than I think they currently are. But the game does a fantastic job of letting the player make their own mistakes and learn from the information that it provides. Oh wait! I have salt! I have salt! Yes! Oh, it's a wonderful day for salt! You're locked, right? And the dark room. Oh my gosh. And this is an electronic key, but maybe I'll get the electronic key card from going all the way back, and I don't have any money for the chapel to take from me, you greedy bastards! And I could just do a straight shot back to the hall. Holy cow. 2 chests. There should be 4 chests. It almost takes me back, not that I have a lot of experience with these types of games, but the old school dungeon crawlers where you physically had to map out the path of the dungeon because there wasn't a map in the game. It's a little bit like that. Now, this isn't that level of intensity, but the blueprints, you'll find something in a room that hints towards what you need to do in a completely separate room that you haven't seen for the past 3 or 4 runs, and your brain just clicks and you're like, okay, one more, going to try to find that room and see if I can't connect this puzzle this time around. What all of this adds together is a really satisfying experience of trial, error, creative thinking to solve the root puzzle of this game to get to your inheritance in the 46th room. Now, there is a level of RNG, sometimes a little bit too much, that can completely screw some of your runs.
So I just thought it'd be funny that every time I saw he needed 3 keys, I only gave him 2! And no, it's not because I don't have plenty of spares. I mean, just look. Ready? Key. 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 What do you think is in this suitcase? Oh, it's just a bad. It's a joke. It's just a bad joke. So I think it's been like 60 days and he's still stuck in that house though.
But you compensate by making the best of a bad situation. There are certain rooms, for example, like the sauna, which will add plus 20 steps the next day that you enter the house. Or you can find rooms that allow you to store specific items that you think you might need. Or perhaps you go and you pray to a shrine that allows you to get a boon for the next couple days. These are all things that within your first or second hour you're not going to uncover, so I understand why a lot of players might give up on this game if they don't dive a little bit deeper, but for those who stick with it, there's a great reward in its gameplay loop. All of this is backed by audio that's done really, really well. Music, while used very sparingly, does contribute a lot to the overall tone and vibe and feel of exploring this house, and it has a really enchanting art style that I quite like a lot, this cel-shaded look to it. But it's rare that you find a game that respects the player's time and respects the player's intelligence as much as the Blueprints does, and that is one of the best things I could possibly say about it. And especially if you're subscribed to Xbox Game Pass, I would highly recommend you give it a look, and honestly, I would say the Blueprints is worth buying at full price. Ladies and gentlemen, the final review score for the Blueprints is going to be a 9 out of 10. This game does exactly what it sets out to do, and it sets out and does it well. I can't wait to get back into Mount Holly. Even after you complete the game, there's still plenty of mysteries that you can go off and try to figure out. And yes, it is actually possible to beat the game on your first day. How? I have absolutely no clue, but for those of you that really want to seek out a challenge, that's there for you. It's one of those games that you feel like you have all the puzzle pieces every single time, you just need to put it together, and then you find that there's another piece that's underneath the box you forgot about. And that will happen constantly, which makes you realize how deep this rabbit hole actually goes with Mount Holly. Dogubomb did an incredible job with their first ever game release, and I look forward to seeing what comes next from them in the future. Is it my game of the year? Probably not, but it's certainly going to be, at bare minimum, within my top 5 by the end. I can guarantee that much. But thank you all so much for watching. If you checked out Blueprints, if you have, let me know your thoughts on it down in the comment section below. Or if you're going to check it out, let me know what you think after you get into it. But that will be all for me today. Thank you so much for watching this review, and I hope, as always, to see you all next time. So long, everybody.